What is going on, NFC South Roundtable? It is your usual suspects back at it with another one, and you guys already know how this works. We went live on Tuesday to recap everything that happened in Week 6. Today, we are here to break down all of the previews and what is expected to happen with each of these teams in the NFC South as we head into Week 7. But before we do that, of course, you guys already know, we got to give a massive shout out to the sponsor of this video over at BetUS. Right now, when you guys sign up, you will lock yourself into an exclusive deal by just using the promo code YouTube150 when you sign up. Again, that is YouTube150, like you see on the screen. It takes less than 60 seconds to sign up. Use their website, use their mobile app, and once you do that, once you punch in the promo code, you'll be locked into a 150% sign-up bonus on your first deposit, followed by 125% sign-up bonus on your next 2 deposits, all the way up to $2,000, guys. BetUS has the fastest payouts in the industry. They also can give you a 200% crypto deposit bonus. They got the fastest and easiest deposit and withdrawal process, 24/7 personalized service, 365 days a year, live wagering on all major games. They got the best betting variety in the business. They can even give you a 10% back on your net losses 2 times a year. Name me another sportsbook that is taking care of you and your money the way that BetUS is. You can't, because nobody else is doing it the way that BetUS is. And BetUS can also give you your very own personalized account manager, absolutely changing the game for online sportsbooks. You can bet on some of the craziest things too via BetUS. It's not just NFL football, but it's college football, basketball, baseball, horse racing. There's fighting. You can even bet on politics and entertainment. Again, no better platform, no better betting source than BetUS. So make sure you guys go ahead and sign up today. Play smart, play responsible. If somebody you know or love is dealing with an issue, please reach out, get that help you need. In fact, you can go to BetUS's website, and they have a page dedicated to getting that help that you need. But again, shout out, of course, to our members, or I should say our sponsors, rather, over at BetUS. But let's go ahead and let's start breaking down these games. And James, I want to start here first with you. You're coming off a very, very big in-division win, and now you're really going to be put to the test. You're playing the Baltimore Ravens. Is this a game that you think that you guys can come on top with?
Well, I like to call this the first stage of hell for the Bucs. The next 4 weeks are going to be long. They play the Ravens, Atlanta, Kansas City, and San Francisco. Oh my. It's not going to be fun. But look, the Bucs have shown that they can be competitive against good teams in the past. They beat the Philadelphia Eagles earlier this year. They beat Washington and Detroit earlier this year as well. Both of those teams have had good seasons so far. So I think it will be a good game. I do think this will be a good competitive matchup. I think going down this stretch, the Bucs they have to go 2-2 down this stretch. And one of those wins has to be against Atlanta, right? I think this is a winnable game for Tampa Bay. I am still going to go ahead and give the nod to Baltimore here in Monday Night Football. But look, everybody knows what Baltimore's about, right? Lamar Jackson is an absolute just beast of a human being in terms of running and passing with the football in his hands. And the Bucs are going to have to try and contain that. And then you add Derrick Henry into the mix as well as a stout defense. Baltimore is a dangerous football team. So Tampa Bay is going to have to be on their absolute A game. They're going to have to look like how they looked against the Saints in 3/4 of that game last week to be able to go out there and have a competitive matchup. You can't make mistakes. You can't go out there and have self-inflicted wounds against the team like the Baltimore Ravens. I do think this will be a close and competitive matchup. Unfortunately, I do believe Baltimore will get the win here in this matchup. But I do believe it will be a good game. And it would not surprise me if the Bucs had won, if they do win, given their history of beating good teams this year. But ultimately, we will just have to wait and see.
Clay, let's go on over to you. What do you think about this big, big matchup for the Buccaneers?
Yeah, I mean, Baker Mayfield's balling like an MVP, so I got to give him credit where credit's due. He's got 15 touchdowns in a year. Evans and Godwin are lighting it up with 5 each. So they dropped 51 on the Saints. So Tampa's offense is legit, but the Ravens are red hot. They had a shaky start, but on a 4-game tear right now. Lamar Jackson's back doing his thing. This team is rolling. Forget the early losses. I think they're dangerous as hell right now. The Bucs defense is kind of suspect. I said that in the live stream on Tuesday night. I mean, Tampa can score, but their defense right now is meh, and the Lamar's the kind of quarterback that can exploit every crack, right? So the Bucs might struggle to contain him, but I think right now the Ravens are favored for a reason in this game. I think the Bucs are solid, but Baltimore's rolling, and I think Lamar is on a mission right now. I think it'll be close, but I'm gonna take the Ravens win in this 27-24.
Ooh, so far we got 2 Ravens. Let's see what Smitty has to say.
Yeah, I'm gonna make it 3 because I just feel like Derrick Henry is looking like the old Derrick Henry. This dude has almost 1,000 yards already. So when you look at what they do offensively running the football, with the injuries that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have in their secondary, I think the Ravens' run game is probably going to be the deciding factor in this game. Lamar Jackson is probably going to get back to an MVP level, but Baker Mayfield, man, in that offense, what they showed last week with those 2 young running backs, this may be a low scoring game because of that. Because you have Henry and Lamar Jackson on one side, you have those 2 Tampa Bay running backs on the other side. So this could come down to who beats each other in the trenches. But I'm gonna get that edge to the Baltimore Ravens simply because I feel like Lamar Jackson would be the deciding factor, even though I think Derrick Henry goes over 100 yards again. I'm gonna take the Ravens in this game 20-17.
Ooh, so far we got 3 out of 4 Ravens. TJ, are you going to make this 4 out of 4 for week 7?
Yeah, I think the Ravens are going to win. I think and honestly, no disrespect, James, I don't think the game's going to be close. I think what the Ravens do well is something that the Bucs struggle with. I look at they got 2 stud tight ends, and Isaiah Likely and Mark Andrews, who doesn't get the ball these days, but I mean they can attack the middle of the field. I do look for Ty Bowles to try to, send some pressure towards Lamar to try to keep him in the pocket, but good luck with that. I just think his ability to be able to improvise, I think, those guys understand the receivers. They're breaking off routes. They're going to try to, catch the ball. I just think it's going to be a little bit too much for them. And then you think about some of the injuries that they sustained. I don't know the status of Jamil Dean. I know he went down in the game versus the Saints. I just think it's going to be a tough outing, a tough outing for him. I know Winfield is back, and he looked explosive on that return for a touchdown, but, man, the Ravens just do so much well, and you can't make any mistakes against this football team, man. They're going to hurt you. They're fundamentally sound more times than not. I think they're going to blow them out this game, man.
Damn. Looks like we got 4 out of 4 creators here, including our Bucs creator, saying that the Ravens are going to win this game. So looks like if the Bucs are able to pull this one off, it is going to be a shocking win to everybody here on this panel. But Clay, let's go over to you. Your Panthers are facing the Washington Commanders, a team that right now is lightning hot. They're the #1 scoring offense in the entire National Football League. Obviously, your Panthers, they've been struggling quite a bit. What do you think about this game?
Yeah, well, number one, Panthers are a dumpster fire right now. We're 1-5. They're playing like garbage. Bryce Young is bench. Andy Dalton's a weak fix. And we're just getting left in the dust by teams like the Saints and the Falcons in our own division. The season's already dead. Deontay Johnson and Chuba Hubbard are the only bright spots in that offensive line, are the only bright spots on this team right now. Deontay Johnson has been a great asset on this offense. Dalton's getting a lot of help from him, and his stock is rising. So I'm honestly thinking that they trade Deontay Johnson for draft picks and start over. I think this team is just sinking fast once again. Dalton is who he is. He's got that veteran presence, but he's just a Band-Aid on a broken leg. Like, he's keeping the offense alive, but barely, and they're still losing, and he's not saving this mess right now. I think Commanders will smash us. I think Jaden Daniels right now looks like the rookie of the year, one of the best rookie quarterbacks out there. They gave the Ravens fits, but against the Panthers, I think they're going to roll over this sad squad. I would bet the house on Washington if you're a betting man, because the spread is 7.5 point favorites. They'll cover easy. Panthers are too weak to put up much of a fight. I think final score, I'm going to go 30-20 Commanders, and the Panthers just continue to sink.
Smitty, what do you think about this game?
Yeah, I agree with Clay wholeheartedly, man. The Panthers, they were competitive last week against my Atlanta Falcons, but the second half, the Carolina Panthers came out, and I think they didn't build momentum going into Washington. And Jaden Daniels is looking like a young MVP already, and that offense will strike fast. And this game may be over at halftime. And Clay, you know where I'm going with this. I'm gonna go 30-47 again, just like I did last week. So yeah, so I'm taking the Commanders all day, man, all day.
Let's see if we can make it 3 for 3. TJ, who are you taking here?
I'm going to go, and I'm going.
So I think we lost TJ.
Well, he went
So
all right. He went.
he said, "I'm gonna go."
He go.
And he went.
He went away.
Let's go over to
Oh,
you, James.
no.
What do you think about this?
Yeah, so I don't know what TJ was gonna say, but I'm gonna say that the Carolina Panthers are gonna lose this football game. You take a look at Washington, they look great. Jaden Daniels does look like the best rookie quarterback out of the bunch right now. He's well and away the leading candidate for offensive rookie of the year. Carolina, I said it before, I'll say it again. Look, they just don't have enough talent on their roster. And that was before all the injuries had happened to the defensive side of their ball with Derek Brown and all the other different pieces that have just been getting hurt. Shaq Thompson in there as well. And look, you've got like a 36-year-old Andy Dalton leading the way. So it is what it is. I think Carolina is a lot more competitive than they were in the first 2 weeks of the season since they have made that quarterback change. But again, this is a team that's very far and away from not just even competing with good teams, but just going out there and winning a lot of football games, period. So I take Washington to win this football game.
TJ, let's go back down to you. Welcome back, by the way.
Yeah, man. I just was trying to make it suspenseful, man. But see, all jokes aside, man. Look, the Carolina Panthers, they got a lot to build on, man. I mean, it's just that simple. I feel bad, man. Like I said, I stay out in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, 3 hours away, and I meet my fair share of Panthers fans, and it's dark times around this thing right now. The Commanders are looking the part. They're looking like the best team in the NFC East. I'm not buying what Philly is selling. And the Cowboys are the Cowboys. They just do what Cowboys do. But I just think that this game is going to be a blowout. I think that Jaden Daniels is not only playing like the offensive rookie of the year, but the league MVP. I mean, the guy has a high completion percentage. The lights aren't too bright for him. And his commitment to excellence, man, the things that you hear about him, like him showing up to the facility and, and his knowledge of the game. I mean, you got no choice but to root for a kid like that. I mean, I just think this is going to be a dominating game by the Commanders. They're on a mission, and Carolina Panthers is about to get steamrolled, unfortunately.
Sounds like the NFC South Roundtable. So far through 2 games, everybody has been completely on the same page. Let's get into our next game and see if everybody is still on the same page, because this is where it gets a little bit controversial. Smitty here, going down to you. The Falcons are taking on the Seahawks, 2 pretty hot teams. Now, obviously, the Seahawks, they've calmed down a little bit. They started off the season very hot. Not exactly the same team, but still a lot of potential there. What are your thoughts on this?
Seahawks going to be looking to get back this week, and that's scary for any NFL team when the team is trying to get back on their feet. And they're coming off a mini bye week because they played last Thursday. Geno Smith threw for 300 yards. They did not look like the Seahawks. The run game was shut down. I think they only ran for like 53 yards the entire game. So they're going to look back to getting what they do and that's run the football. But the Atlanta Falcons, man, on a 3-game win streak, they're coming back home. The offense is clicking on all cylinders. I think this game will be high scoring, and I say that because Atlanta can't get to the quarterback, and San Francisco made Seattle look like a recreational team last week at certain points in the game with what Deebo Samuel and George Kittle did. So I think Kyle Pitts, Darnell Mooney, and those guys have a chance to have good games. And this could be another one of those games where Kirk Cousins opens up the playbook, him and Zach Robinson, and throw the ball down the field vertically and attack the Seattle defense because San Francisco did it. So I feel like Atlanta can do it. But again, Geno Smith, top in the NFL in pass yards, or top 3, and he's not going to be able to put the ball in the air especially when he's going to have time to throw. So Atlanta's going to have to be creative on defense, and I've been saying this the last 3 weeks. Be creative on defense, find a way to get sacks, and slow down that Seattle offense like San Francisco did. But I'm going to take the Falcons in a close one, 24-17.
Ooh, all right. TJ, let's go on over to you. Who do you think is going to win this battle?
This is the type of game that I want to see the Atlanta Falcons come through. Like, I think they checked all the boxes. They showed us that they can win close games. They showed that they can win by their offense leading the charge as well as the defense. Now I want to see if they can be able to match the physicality of the Seattle Seahawks. I mean, the NFC West teams, they're known for their physicality and, on the defensive side of the football. And they got some good weapons offensively. I mean, Geno Smith isn't just throwing to tomato cans. I mean, they got DK Metcalf. They got Jackson Smith and Jigba. They got one of the most underrated wide receivers of all time, in my opinion, and Tyler Lockett still doing it. And then you also have some really good tight ends. Noah Fant is doing a really good job. And also kind of similar to Atlanta. They got a 2 running back system in Charbonnet, Zach Charbonnet, and also Kenneth Walker. So I just want to see if they can match that intensity. I'm going to pick Atlanta because, in those phone booth type games, they found a way to win. But I just want to see if they're going to be able to match the physicality of the Seattle Seahawks. If they do that, then I think that a lot of teams, not just in the South, but NFC, need to be a little bit afraid of Atlanta because they basically checked all the boxes of what you actually need to be a contender in the NFC.
Mm-hmm.
James, it's going up to you, buddy. Who do you think's winning this?
Yeah, I do agree with both TJ and Smitty. I do think this is going to be a close game. Look, Atlanta's on a roll right now. They've won 3 in a row, all against division rivals. I think that means that they're actually due for a loss, though. I'm actually going to give this game to the Seattle Seahawks.
Ooh, first change up.
Much like what Smitty was saying, and much like what TJ was saying, look, the Seahawks have a lot of power on offense, and I do believe this will be a very, very close game. Atlanta has proven that they can win close games, but they've also proven that they can lose close games throughout the season as well, like the Kansas City game, like some of the other games that they've had this year as well. So, and look, Seattle's a very crafty football team, both on offense and on defense. So at the end of the day, I do believe that Seattle will win this football game and knock the Falcons down to 4-3.
All right, and Clay, wrap us up here with this game. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think the Falcons have finally found their offense, right? They racked up over 423 yards against us. Algier, Robinson ran wild for over 200 yards apiece, right? So so Seattle's run defense right now is just straight trash. They've given up 5 yards a carry and over 868 yards in over 6 games. So I think Atlanta's run game should have a field day. Seattle can't stop turning over the ball. They had 3 turnovers against the 49ers. Geno Smith threw for 52 times. That's just a recipe for disaster. So if Seattle can't run against Atlanta, I expect another ugly game. So right now, I think the Falcons are surging. Seattle is sinking. I think Atlanta will run all over the Seahawks. And I think the Falcons actually win this game 31-21.
So far, we've only had one disagreement, and that was James on this specific game. So far, this crew this week is exactly on the same mindset. Y'all would be a great jury, by the way. Like, y'all wouldn't have to sit around literally at all. Y'all be in and out so quick, but let's get into our final game here. TJ, will go down to you. Saints, Broncos. Broncos started the season off definitely slow. They've picked it up, gotten hotter, but they're finally coming off of a loss here. What are your thoughts about this team?
Man, it looked like we were about to, only gonna have one disagreement this entire show because I think we all on the same page with this. Look, it's plain and simple. It's a Thursday night game. It's emotional. You got Drew Brees. He's going into the Saints Hall of Fame, into the Ring of Honor. You got Sean Payton coming back, team that he coached for 16 years, brought credibility and legitimacy to the franchise. And you have 2 teams that are looking to bounce back, right? I mean, you got a team in Denver that had a bad outing against the Chargers, and you had the Saints having a humiliating loss at home against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But I look at the Broncos and I look at the Saints. I look at a team that was trying to win in the Denver Broncos, and I see another team in the Saints that look like they they had that Cancun on 3 type mind frame. I think back to a game. It was on Thursday night, Raiders versus Chargers, where Brandon Staley, went into that game thinking he was going to be coaching on Friday, and the loss was just so embarrassing in front of a nationally televised audience that the Chargers went in a different direction. And I have feelings and vibes of that moment going into this game when it involves the New Orleans Saints. That was mutiny, if you ask me, in the second half. Like, I think that was the Saints the team telling the Saints organization, hey, it's time for us to go in a different direction. The voice, we ain't hearing it anymore. And I think that this is going to be one of those moments where the Saints trust, who have had this undying allegiance to Dennis Allen, I think that they're going to have to take a really good look, because it's going to force their hands, because you're not going to be able to hide him, because the game took place at 12 o'clock. The entire world is going to be able to see the incompetence of Dennis Allen as a head coach, and the entire world is going to see the New Orleans Saints team give up on his head coach, and we can finally get back to being a contender in NFC when they fire this dude. I got the Denver Broncos blowing out the New Orleans Saints. I ain't gonna tell y'all score. I just want them to blow them out. I just know it's gonna be a blowout. It's just plain and simple. Those guys ain't gonna come to play.
Even Saints fans are asking for blowouts now, just so Dennis Allen is gone. How about that?
We can act for it. Hey, we can act for it, but it's going to happen. It's going to happen.
James, just going up to you, man. What do you think about the Saints and the Broncos?
Man, these teams are very similar, I feel like, in terms of just offensive inefficiency. But I mean, well, Saints not as much lately, but good defensive play. Man, I want to give the Saints the win in this matchup, because there's so many threads going on, and like, I think New Orleans, it's in New Orleans. Drew Brees is going to be inducted into the Ring of Honor. Sean Payton's coming back to a team that, honestly, in my opinion, he kind of scumbagged a little bit in terms of retiring and then going off and coaching another team. It is what it is. But like, I just can't do it. I can't. Sean Payton, I will not. I'm going to give the Broncos the win. Sean Payton knows Dennis Allen's defense very well, right? And while I haven't necessarily been super impressed with Bo Nix, I have been very impressed with the Broncos defense. They've been very, very good. And they've been very consistent this year, whereas the Saints defense has fallen off, especially with injuries and whatnot lately. They've been more inconsistent than the Broncos have been. I've seen firsthand how good the Broncos defense can be, as they absolutely stalled the Bucs offense in their matchup. So I think it's going to be a rough day for Rattler. I think that they are going to absolutely get after the young rookie quarterback and make him pretty uncomfortable throughout this contest. I'm not going to necessarily go as far as to say that it's going to be a blowout, just because, again, the Broncos offense has just been pretty ineffective this year in terms of just scoring a ton of points. But I do think the Broncos will win this game. And that'll just be what it is.
All right, Clay, let's go on over to you. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I think actually, I'm actually going to take the Saints in this, and I'm going to tell you why. Sean Payton's back, but I don't believe in this Broncos team. Like, I think they're just as mediocre. He's got a big problem in his hands. Though they had a week 6 disaster. If y'all didn't watch the Chargers game, it was penalties, it was turnovers, another slow start. If they don't stop screwing it up, they're going to continue to get wrecked. I think Rattler as a rookie, and he plays like it, but Rattler, got his ass kicked by the Bucs. Let's be honest. But he's facing a Broncos team that's ready to, obviously they want to take their frustrations out, but they're going to be out with Patrick Surtain. So it's not looking good for the Broncos in that aspect of things. I think that both teams right now are inconsistent. I think the Broncos are about to self-destruct, honestly. I think Rattler takes that matchup where Surtain isn't at. And I think the Saints win this game 24-20.
Ooh, so far, 2 disagreements all video. Smitty, are you going to make it 3? Why are there balloons in my face right now? Smitty, are you going to make it 3?
He's celebrating the disagreement.
Celebrating. Come on, Smitty.
Disagree.
Hey,
I got to go with the Broncos, man. I just think New Orleans, like TJ said, man, they've given up on their coach, and they're not going to come out with any energy. And Sean Payton has something to prove. Even though I think the Saints may play hard for Drew Brees because he's being honored, but at the same time, I still think the Broncos at 3-3, they played a little bit harder this year. And even though the Saints started off 2-0, the last 4 games had looked nothing like that. So I expect that to continue. I'm not a fan of Bo Nix, and I admit that. But I do still think their defense will make enough plays to get in the right field position to put them in the position to win this game. It's gonna be a close game, I think. I'm gonna be in the ballpark with Clay's at. I'm gonna go by a field goal 23-20.
All right.
Wow, guys, 2 disagreements all video. How about that? I mean, are you guys like typing behind the scenes? Just
Get
like,
the
all right,
balloons.
guys, we all need to agree.
Rattler, man, he's gonna get his
Hey.
first win. Here it
Rat,
comes.
tat,
The balloons
tat,
will
rattler.
assign.
Do you know
won't-
he about to
you
go
won't
out there with? No Chris Olave, no Rashid
Right.
Shaheed. I
Right.
mean, you going out there with Bud Means, a 4th round pick from Pitt, Mason Tipton, an undrafted free agent, undrafted rookie from Yale, and Cedric Wilson.
Hey,
Those
man.
are going to be your 1, 2, and 3, and they just activated Equimedia St. Brown, the brother of Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Let him cook.
Yeah,
So,
it's gonna be
preseason week,
preseason.
he about to go out there with
Yeah.
preseason week 3, and he
Sounds like they're
told you,
about to
right?
cook.
Let
Oh,
the-
that's what I was
hey,
just about to say.
Rookie Palooza, man. Rookie Palooza.
Rookie Palooza, baby. Hey, maybe he'll be your wide receiver 1 by the end of the season. Who knows? Maybe he'll step in the shoes of Amon-Ra. Obviously, I'm joking. Just so that's clear. But hey, guys, look, that's going to end it for today's video. We appreciate you guys watching each of these creators' thoughts here on the NFC South for their predictions on Week 7. Who got it right? Who got it wrong? What are your thoughts? Let us know, please, in the comment section below. We would love to hear it. Start that football discourse in the comment section below. Make sure you guys subscribe to each of these individual creators. Links in the description box below. Keep your friends close. Keep your enemies closer. Make sure you guys also subscribe, here on the NFC South Roundtable for all of your NFC South news. You guys aren't going to want to miss when we post, when we go live, any of that good stuff. As always, though, we appreciate you guys for watching. Shout out again to none other than BetUS for sponsoring today's video. Use that promo code when you guys sign up of YouTube 150, and you'll get a 150% sign up bonus on your first deposit, followed by 125 on your next 2 deposits, all the way up to $2,000. That's going to end it for today, though. We appreciate you guys for watching. We'll see you next Tuesday live at 7 p.m. Eastern. But until then, stay safe.